Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Gary. Till now we have learned about single linked list. So today we are going to learn about doubly linked list. So what is really doubly linked list? So what happens is in single linked list what used to happen, we had only one pointer which was the next, which used to point towards the next linked list. But here in doubly linked list what happens is we have two pointers. So this is the previous one, this is the previous, and this is next pointer. So what does this previous stores? Previous stores the address of the previous node, and this next stores the address of the next node. So yeah, it's very similar to singular linked list, just the addition of previous node we have here. So it's a we have a sequence of nodes here where each node contains a value, right? And the two pointers, one pointing to the previous node and one pointing to the next node. Okay, so now let's go to the code. Let's start coding. Okay, so I'll just name it 02.cpp. Okay, we have the boilerplate here. So first of all, I'll write a node class node class node. We'll make sure that all of it is public, and node will initialize the node previous and in data. And one more thing which we are remaining is next node. So as you can see here, we have two pointers, the previous and the next one. Awesome. Previous and the next. It's all. So yeah, I'll also write a constructor here, just like we wrote for our singular linked list. So node will be giving the input data this data is equal to data this next is equals to null, as both of our pointers will be null at this point, and next will also be null. Oh, I'm sorry, that should be previous. Yep, let's go. So yeah, we have initialized the constructor also. I forgot to put a semicolon here. Colon there. Yep. Okay, so I will initialize the node 1. We are naming it node 1 just like a previous. So new. We'll call the constructor new node. Let the value be 10. Okay, awesome. I hope it works. So we'll write a print function also. I'll just write the print function void print. What all data will be passing us? We'll be passing the head node. There. Okay. So here we are printing it, right? So there's no need to pass the reference. But while inserting and deleting, we need to pass the reference because we are making the changes in the original linked list. But since we are just accessing the node, we don't have to pass the reference here. But that's still, like, there's no harm in passing it. Okay, that's the only thing. And then what I'll do is while, okay, I'll just name it temp. So while temp does not go null, what you can do is you can just print the list. Cout temp data okay. Yep. Temp data and temp is equals to temp next. We'll just this is for incrementing our the temp. So yep. Now let's call this print function and let's see if the node is created. So print head. Oh, I forgot to initialize head, and so I'll initialize the head pointer. Head is equals to node 1, and again I'll just call the print function now. Print head. Nice. So as you can see, it's quite similar to like the single list. Just this addition of new pointer, which will means the change in the code will only happen when we will learn about inserting and deleting. Deleting. Okay, so let's learn. Let's run it. I hope it works. Okay, yeah. See, we have the node here, right? Awesome. So till now we have learned about creating a double linked list and also traversing it with the print function, right? So now we will learn about inserting in a double linked list. So it is quite similar to single linked list. So as you can see, so suppose this is a double linked list we have. Suppose this has 10. This is the data pointing towards head. So this is our head. This is the current linked list. Okay. But now what if I want to insert a linked list at the head? Means this is the linked list which I want to insert here. So suppose this has data as 9. Okay. Suppose if I have to insert it here. So what are the things will have to do? Suppose if I name it new node. Okay. Suppose if I name it new node. So what we'll have to do is new node connect. It has to point towards the head, right? And head ka jo previous means this thing right here. It has to point towards this node. So head previous has to point towards new node. And after doing this, after this has pointed toward this and this point towards this, the only thing is left is we'll have to move head from here to here. Means this thing right here will now become our head. So head will be equals to our new node. So let's just code. So I'll just write the void inserting at head. We'll pass in node head. Also don't forget to give the reference. And one more thing, int data. Yeah, right. So suppose okay. So first of all, you'll have to create the node here. Node. Suppose if I name it new node is equals to new node, and we'll pass the data as suppose d. D. Okay. So once the new node is created, what did we have to do? We had to do is new node such a next that has to point towards uh, our head. Yeah, right. And head such a next that has to point towards new node, right? Head ka previous my bad. Head ka previous has to point towards new node. Yep. And one more thing, that head will now be shifted towards new node. Yep, that's it. Let's just run it, try it. Head will now be equals to new. Yeah. So suppose if I try to insert at head, inserting at head, and if I pass, we have to pass head, and data is suppose 9. Okay, so let's see if it works. Yep. All right. Now we have 9 and 10 in our request. Let's insert one more thing. Suppose inserting at head, inserting at head. I'll pass head, and we will also pass 7. Let's try to insert 7. Awesome. 7, 9, 10. 7 is inserted now. Okay, so we have successfully learned how to insert it, right? But now we'll try to insert at end. Yeah, right. So void insert at end. So what are the things we'll have to pass? We'll have to pass tail, also int d. So I'll just we haven't initiated tail here yet. So tail is equal to node 1 initial. So insert at end. So now if I were to insert a node here, if I were to insert a node, So if I were to insert a node at the back, what are the things will I have to do? So this has to point towards this now, means our tail next has to point towards our new node. Yeah, right. New node. Suppose when I name it new node, if I name it new node, tail का next है that has to point towards new node, and new node previous new node का जो previous that has to point towards our tail node. And also don't forget to transfer tail from here to here, means this will become tail now. So tail will be is equals to new node. Yep, that's it. Okay, so we'll just code. First of all, we'll create the node. New node is equals to new node data type. So now, what are things we have to do? Tail का जो next है that has to point towards new node. Yeah, right. And new node का जो previous है that has to point towards tail. Yeah, right. Awesome. And one more thing, we are changing tail. So tail will now become new node. Yep, that's it. That is it. So let's try inserting it. Inserting, insert at end. I think that's what. Yeah, insert at end. Will pass in tail, and will pass in. Suppose if I want to add 11. So let's try run. 7, 9, 10, 11. Awesome. Just one more, and we'll try insert at end. Will pass in tail and will pass in 12. Let's see if it works. It should come 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, let's go. So we have successfully inserted at head and also at tail. But now there's one more thing remaining, which is insert at middle. Insert in middle. Insert in middle. So for that we'll have to pass in head. We'll also have to pass in tail and also the data in D. Yeah, right. In T, and one more thing, which is position. In position, I forgot. Yeah, in position means that what position do we want our node to be inserted. Also, we will. I forgot to give the reference. It's very important to give the reference here. Okay, nice. So while inserting, if the position is 1, if our position is 1, what we will do is we'll just call our insert at head. Insert at head will pass in head and also the data. Yeah, right. When the position is 1, and we'll make sure it returns from here itself. But what if it does not at when the position is not 1? So we'll maintain a count here, right? We'll maintain a count. We'll start. It will be 1. So while before that, I'll make sure that I'll create a temporary node temp, which is pointing towards my head right now. So while C and D is less than position position minus 1, what we'll do is we'll make sure that we'll traverse till it. So temp will be equal to temp ka next, also count plus plus. Yeah, right. That is it. And okay, once we reach here, one more condition we'll write here. What if the temp goes null? Yeah, right. Means what if we are adding at the last position? So if temp is equals to null, then we'll just add. We'll say insert at end. Insert at end, and we will pass in tail and we'll pass in D. Okay, so I'll just show it right here. Okay, so suppose if I'm trying to add a new node here at this position, at third position, right? So this will point towards this, and this will point towards this, right? So suppose if I name it new node, this will be my current, uh, this will be my temporary. Temp will reach here. So what are the things we'll have to do? Like temp का next का जो previous है, that has to point towards my new node. Did you understand? This temp का next, this node right here, उसका जो previous this thing, it has to point towards a new node, right? So this is the first thing we'll be doing. It has to point towards new node. The second thing here is temp का जो next है, that has to point towards my this new node. All right. And once we have finished this, new node का जो previous है, that has to point towards temp. All right. Let's just code it. So once we reach there, what temp का next का जो previous है, that has to point towards a new node. Oh shit! I forgot to create the new node itself. Damn. So node new node is equals to new node data d. Yeah, right. So new node, so temp का जो next का previous has to point towards a new node, right? And then temp का next will point towards a new node. And once this is done, new node का जो previous है, that will point towards a temp. And yep, that's it. I hope this should work. I think we are missing something, but yeah, let's just check out what are we missing here. So I'll just write here insert at middle. What are the things we had to pass? Head, tail, data. If I suppose I'm inserting 22 position, so this is our data right here, right? So I'll insert at third position, so it should come like third position. So the answer should be like 7, 9, 22, 10, 11, 12. Let's hope. So yeah, let's try and run this. Means okay. So we are getting an error here, inserting at head was not declared. Oh, so it is because we have written this function below our insert in middle function. We had to write it above our middle function. And also one more thing, that here temp should not be null. It's temp ka next which has to be null to check the last element. And one more thing I forgot here is that I forgot to point new node next to temp ka next. So that's the one thing I forgot here. Yeah, that is it. I think it should work now. Let's just clear it. And let's just run. Awesome. See, now it works. So now you have learned about inserting in Doubly linked list also. So I hope you learned a lot. Thank you very much.